Okay, so we're out here mowing today on the new part of the farm. It's in the area of the center of the farm where there's not any crops because it's too steep. It's gotten really brushy. Probably hasn't had anything done with it for, I'm guessing, maybe 10 years. There's still some areas that have grass and some areas that have just a lot of briars. So I'll kind of show you the before and after the best I can. I've got my mower will cut saplings up to about maybe 2 to 3 inches so I can get some of that underbrush cleared out that way. But I'll show you kind of what we're dealing with. Okay, so some of this area is kind of weedy, but it does have some grass underneath. I'll show you. You can see there's decent fescue underneath here, so I'm trying to just mow the weeds down. It's getting toward the end of August now, so trying to hopefully get the grass in better shape. That way I can graze it this winter after they combine the soybeans. And then some of it's real brushy, like at the bottom of the hill. I've already mowed some across the hill. So I'll kind of show you that, but it's pretty tall. So this is some of the stuff we're mowing. I mean, we're talking weeds 8, 10 foot, 12 foot tall. Let's see if I can get myself standing beside them, but they're really tall. One advice I would give, if you're mowing an area like this and you don't know if there's a ditch or a sinkhole, because this area does have a lot of sinkholes, I actually back into it. So I'll mow in reverse and back into what I'm cutting. That way I can watch the tires on the mower. And if the tires drop down into a hole, then I can stop and I can pull forward. I'd rather have that. If you can watch the mower, that avoids you from falling in a sinkhole, and you can kind of gauge where the holes are. This is that area I just mowed. This is where those 8 to 10 foot or more than that tall briars were. Some of these bigger trees I couldn't mow down because they're too big. I'll have to come back and try to get them. I've still got more to do. You can see over there. Some of these trees are Asian pears, which are an invasive species. I don't know all my trees, but I do know those, and I know that I know what a walnut looks like, and quite a few of these are walnuts. So I'll save some of these trees. I'm not going to cut them all down, but I'll try to cut down all the Asian pears. I'll try to cut down most of the cedar trees. I'll leave enough trees for shade, and I'll try to leave the more valuable trees. If you've ever had to buy walnut lumber, then you know it's expensive. So if I can save some of these walnuts, and maybe 30 years, but they'll be worth something. I mentioned sinkholes. This is the area I'm talking about. Pictures don't really do it justice, but you can see the dirt where it bottomed the mower out. I was actually I was up here backing down the hill, and it bottomed out the mower. This drop is probably 3 foot deep. Pictures don't really do it justice. That's why I say if your tractor goes into something like this, you could have a heck of a wreck. So this stuff behind me is something I had planned on mowing, but when I got over here, it's just way too thick. So there's no way my mower can get this stuff. I made a few lanes through here. You can kind of see behind me. I was able to mow a few strips through here, but I may just put the cows in here in the wintertime and let them kind of trample it down and see what I've got. But I think it would take hiring something with like a skid steer with like a heavy duty mower on the front, or like one of those mulching heads that rotates and spins, or I may just leave it kind of semi-forested like a silvo pasture, depending on how much the cattle trample it down. So we'll see, but I'll show you kind of what I've done mowing the other section before we leave today. You can see behind me what we cleared off today with the mower. You know, directly behind me at the bottom of the hills where those really tall weeds were. So, I mean, it looks better than it did. Again, initially I was just gonna leave this and just turn the cows out on it in the winter and let them kind of trample it down. But I realized that there's grass underneath all these tall weeds, and the weeds were choking out the grass. So it's, around August the 19th or 20th today. So I thought if I get this weeds cut down, then hopefully the fescue can green up this fall and we'll be able to graze it this winter. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, so it's not a ton of grass, but it's enough that we could keep the cows in here for a little while during the winter. So you guys, hope you guys had a good day. And last parting thoughts were, I guess the one thing I wanted to point out is, if you're mowing unfamiliar territory and you can't see the ground, and it could because the plants are so tall, I'd recommend mowing backwards and backing into it. It takes a long time, but it's a lot safer than if you're going forward. You could get yourself in a wreck, especially if the ground's uneven. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good day.